You guys gonna be quiet? It's cool.
Can I ask you, who's your least favorite character to draw?
Least favorite. I think I have a least favorite. Probably the Thing. The Thing. It takes forever. It takes forever, and it's if you don't get it right, it looks weird. Yeah, that Thing's probably my. Spider-Man too. But when it's done, it's like okay.
For Excalibur, Apocalypse, did you get much input into character design? I know that's like ancient history, but
yeah, I did. What did I designed. Let's see, I designed. Anybody that's in your book, you usually get a chance to design. So it's one of those things where, yeah, I mean, it was fun to work on it. It was a weird time because I wasn't in the business that long. I've only been in business for about a year, so it was kind of a weird. Like I wouldn't make the mistakes I did then. Now, you know, I was kind of like not too sure of myself as an artist, so I let other people do things for me. You know, like, oh, you designed that, that's cool, but that's not what I would do now. But it was cool. It was fun to work on. I will say it was a fun gig.
What's like your most prized like comic book artist?
My prize. Oh, geez. One thing about drawing comics for a long time, you get a chance to meet a lot of people, and I met some amazing people. But I think what I have, as far as collector, like I'm still a collector. I collect stuff too, right? So I think my favorite thing that I have in that's my personal, is I have 2 pages of Jim Lee art from his X-Men 248. I have 2 pages from that, signed by him and Chris Karma. I think that's one of my favorites, and I have and I have a John Byrne Conan on my wall too. So I'm an art guy, so I collect art. So as far as my own stuff, anything Star Wars related, I usually have all that stuff kept. That's probably worth nothing. I just like it.
do you model your art after Ian Churchill because you had to follow his? No. Like I meant like style because
that
you
is
had to
ridiculous.
follow that in Deadpool.
No, dude, I did 6 pages of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Ian Churchill, not even close, bro. That's hilarious.
No, I just meant because I know, when Pat Lee had to work for Rob Liefeld, he had to kind of copy his style in order to get the job.
He's a peer of mine. He was not setting the table for that job.
Yeah.
He was, I was helping him out actually. Like, I was doing Excalibur and he was running behind, so he asked me to do it. So I said, okay, no problem. So I did issue. But I was. Ian Churchill was a very talented artist, and he's a good friend of mine. But we're peers, so there was none of that going on where I was looking at his work to emulate him.
No, I just thought that like maybe Marvel might want.
No, they would never say that. They would never say that. Well, maybe they do to other guys, but I've never been told anything like that in my career. Like draw like this guy or look like this guy. It just doesn't. I think they hire you because they want you to be an individual. So they hire you because you're your own commercial success, right? So
Yeah.
I don't think that it's ever. Maybe other guys have a different story, but my story has never been like that. I was told to draw or even referred to draw for somebody else.
So let me check and see which ones I have. See if I get through drawing.
What's like the best piece of advice you ever got while we started out in the industry?
The best piece of advice I ever got. I didn't get a lot of advice. I mean, this whole convention and doing signings, this is kind of a new thing for when I was doing it. There wasn't like this, so you really didn't get a chance to meet a lot of creators, and you have to really go out of your way to meet them. So I think I've had some amazing compliments that changed my life. One I had was I was in Detroit and I was drawing and a pair of hands came on my shoulder and said, "Kid, you sure can draw." And I turned around and it was Kurt Swan. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. One of the greatest Superman artists of all time. So you don't get a chance to meet people like that, and he passed on a few years after that. So that's what my greatest compliment. Or when you meet professionals that you really respect, like guys you're like, wow, with that guy and he knows who you are. I love your work. Oh, that's great. So, it can be
Thank you so much.
anytime, man.
We did the interior as well. So, yeah, and then we do have some sketch covers. He's probably going to sketch it till his hand fall off. So
Okay.
yeah. If you want to start the small ones, if those white boxes there, those you can probably anywhere from like 8 to 10-year-old type of thing. You don't have to glue any of those parts, they snap together, and you can just use these little clippers right here. This is the $6.99 one. No, down here, $6.99 was a little smaller. Clip it off, and that way they're not sharp. White boxes here, white boxes here,
You don't need references for anything, eh?
I'm old. Been this a long time.
Okay, so which ones? I think most of them.
John Bader a few times. These are old cover. This is a nasty cover too. These ones. I don't know what they put on the film of these, but they're hard to run. Got like a film on them or something.
So,
R2D2 of all the characters, R2D2. Okay. That's cool.
So did you school learn how to draw, or are you self-taught? Yeah.
Went to school.
Or you did?
But I mean, everyone's, no matter who you are, where you go to school, you are self-taught because you got to do it on your own. But yeah, I went to school.
I guess you started drawing at a very early age, right?
Yeah, I was always that kid drawing.
the hot choice stuff.
That was on my list.
Okay. Yeah. Not right now. Yeah. So you can wait. I guess for everybody who's here or tuning in, checking out the video, check out Facebook and Lead Killer. You're gonna find a lot of really awesome art to check out and to see. So.
Can I ask for drawing a Marvel character on that?
It's your sketchbook, man.
I say no.
He's the one drawing. Do what you gotta do.
I
Yeah.
want a Deadpool. Says DC sucks.
I will not be doing that.
Yeah, no.
You know I work at DC, right? You can write, I'll do Deadpool. If you want to write DC 6 at the end on your own handwriting, you can do that.
I want a Joel.
I think Jor-El was a better call there. Yeah.
That was just a joke. Take it serious.
Dude, I've been around a long time. I take everything I kind of with a grain of salt.
Who's on your list of greats that you respect and look forward to meeting at cons? I know, just like myself, you've got people that you want to meet, the fan in you, and every time you get to check a couple of those off. Last year for me, was Brian Stelfreeze. I got to meet him.
Oh, really?
So yeah. Who's on your list?
Stelfreeze was on my list, but I mean, I met him now. We're friends. It's
Yeah.
weird. I would say, guys. Now that I want to meet,
anybody.
I met one of mine was Alan Davis, and I did that in Chicago.
Nice.
I don't know if there's anybody else now that I really would like. Arthur Adams became a friend, so that was kind of strange. I don't know if there's anybody that I really would say, oh my goodness, I have to meet them now.
Because you've met a lot of
met
them, and
them,
then you've
I met
worked
them.
with some of the people that you've
Yeah.
either idolized or appreciated their work
Sure.
and stuff. So yeah, no, that's
But
really
it's
cool.
I would say there's a lot of it's more about my kids now. My kids getting a chance to meet cool people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my daughter just figured out probably within the last 6 months that the passes that she gets at these Comic Cons lets her in some backstage and stuff. That she just figured that out. I was like, you can go anywhere. With
Anywhere,
that.
yeah.
She was like, what do you mean? I go, yeah, the green room is right there. You can go back there and meet somebody. It's really kind of
Yes.
It's been going on for a few years now, kid.
Yeah.
She's like, really? Like, what about San Diego? I go, yes.
Yes, that's the
She goes, what is this day? I said, yeah, you get in half an hour early. She goes, really? I go, oh my God, kid.
This is where you say, daughter, I am a somebody here.
No.
We mentioned a kind of an underused or underutilized character, and you mentioned Megan. So what about a character that you think is overused, oversaturated, overhyped? You don't understand how that person's power works or how people like him. Her, him, or her.
Interesting. I'm not sure there's one that's completely overhyped. But movie-wise, Captain America. I mean, not Captain America. Iron Man for sure.
Okay.
Because that Iron Man in the comic books, yeah, he's cool and everything. But I mean, like, everyone here's seen Justice League, right?
Yes.
Everyone here's seen it. Everyone seen it? Who hasn't seen it? Anybody not seen it?
Seen what?
Justice League.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was good. Now, when you watch Justice League, you see how strong those characters are. You say to yourself, okay, these guys are all gods. When you watch the Avengers, you kind of think, oh, these are people in suits.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the big difference in power level. But the Iron Man fight against Thanos was kind of ridiculous.
Yes.
Because it was just like, no way. Like, there's no way you last that long. Like, you would last 2 seconds. I mean, he's beating the Hulk.
Yeah. He beat the Hulk in the first 2 minutes. Yeah.
That was the first thing they showed me.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they showed me when I got there. I was like,
You're just like, wait a minute.
it's one of the first things they showed me. And I was like, what?
It's like that person's got superpowers and abilities, and you've got a fancy suit.
And you guys.
It is fancy.
Yeah.
Fancy.
It is fancy.
High tech, expensive, but
Super
still a
fancy.
suit.
I mean, there were some crazy parts of that. I mean, I was appreciative. I mean, I thought it was an amazing fight. But it seemed kind of like, I mean, no way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have full control of how to draw all the panels and pages, or?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's a big misconception that these writers have power over us. They don't. It's kind of a weird thing. I've been asked it a lot, and I go, you think I work in a job where someone would tell me, like, they can't draw. What the hell would I give crap would that to say to anybody? I don't write. I don't say, well, this is what I want you to write.
Yeah.
So when any writer that would tell me that, I would literally go, here's a paper and pencil, knock yourself out. If you can't do that, then just step back and let us take do what we're supposed to do, right? It's ridiculous, but it's true though. I mean, I've had a few writers send me breakdowns of what they want the panels to look like, and I just I just ignore it, right? You know, and also and it goes backwards and forwards too. They also have they don't write things. You put it in the script, and all of a sudden it's like, how brilliant am I? Right? You're like, that's not what you wrote, right?
Yeah.
Like I made that up completely, but that's what happens, right? It's funny that people always think every single thing in a comic book was put there by the writer, and that's not true.
Do they give you like unrealistic expectations sometimes with their scripts?
Yeah, some of them are absolutely crazy, and like I said, I make my decisions. I just go, okay, I'm a human being. I can't draw that. You know, I remember Reggie Hudlin. I told him he's a nice guy, but he wrote one time in a Black Panther issue, Deadliest Species, where Black Panther was in the realm of death, and he wrote miles and miles of corpses. Come on, bro.
Yeah. I'll put 4 in this panel.
This one's gonna have like a real close-up shot,
Yeah.
and then the rest are gonna be just
Okay.
box.
Yeah.
I just laughed. I was
Exactly.
like, okay. Miles and miles of corpses. That's one line for you. That's a week of my life.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that, but it's cool.
Who's somebody that you haven't worked with in the industry that you really like to work with?
I'll work with Mark Waid again. I mean, I was when I first did. I was really young, so I didn't know what I was doing. Greg Pak was cool. He's mad cool. I did a story with him. The Relief, the Puerto Rico Relief.
Yes.
I did a story with him. So you know, I haven't worked with him since Superman Doom, so it's kind of cool to get that. You know, it was cool. I don't know. Kevin Grievous is a good friend of mine.
Okay.
And we're working on something together. We'll figure that out. Really, there's lots, right?
There's lots, but yeah. Also, too, the cool thing is at this point you've also worked with many people,
Yeah.
right, and stuff, and you've been drawing and creating for a very long time. So yeah, the list of people is probably short, right? That,
Yeah, I mean, it's cool.
There's
man.
probably more people now that want to work with you, right? That say, hey, I want to work with Ken, right? So,
I don't know about that, but I'm at that point now where it's kind of cool, where I can like it's kind of interesting. I got an email a little while ago from a pretty famous writer, and he said, "I want to work with you on this, but it won't get greenlit unless you say you're going to do it." And I was like, "Wow, really?
wow, that's kind of a funny,
Yeah, you know,
it's like a reverse.
yeah.
Here's a job that I can't say. Oh, okay.
I can't give it to you unless you say
I'm-
you want.
I'm
Unless you
gonna
want
take
it. Unless you want
I
it.
need to know what the job is, right? So, do you tend to watch a lot of the stuff? This is. Do you watch Krypton? Yeah,
I met the cast when I was in
Yeah.
Anaheim. They're really nice guys.
that's cool.
DC brought them over to talk to me. I was like, "Hey, that's pretty cool." That's nice. Really nice people.
Yeah, I find it's hard to keep up on a weekly basis on all the shows, but
Got the vision, right?
yeah, you know, I try and read most of the books that come in. That's keeping me busy. Right? You gotta know, right? Product knowledge. No one has half the battle.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
Worked on G.I. Joe too. I love that.
Yeah, the G.I. Joe packaging and stuff. So if you who's your go-to Joe squad? You got 4 Joes that you're sending into a mission, right? Who's your team?
That's a terrible question. You know why? Because after I worked on G.I. Joe for a lot of years, Hasbro was really nice, and they gave me a G.I. Joe with my face on it.
Yes, I saw. Yeah.
So I always pick that character.
Yeah.
He's a dreadnought.
Yeah.
I picked the dreadnoughts, man.
Nice.
How can you not, right?
Thanks, Ken.
See,
Okay, also have me see this.
Do you want it personalized?
Nah.
No.
Thank you.
anytime, man. Thank you.
What's the one that we've seen?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
What do you want? What's here?
Doomsday. I you know what? Yeah, I think Doomsday is pretty fun.
But
Doomsday it is.
okay, all right. My job is whatever. Let's do this.
Oh, yeah.
How long can you sketch before your hand starts to hurt?
Nah, it doesn't bother me.
Really?
No. Do a lot of this stuff, so it doesn't really. I'm good.
Usually a lot of the times the conventions, you run at a convention and you might be sitting for 6-8 hours, depending, not straight all the time and stuff like that, you know, you take breaks, you talk and stuff like that, but the thing is, like, the one thing that you might not know, that like, as you watch Ken go and move and stuff like that, usually some of the guys, they will call this like, Ken calls these sketches, okay, but a lot of the other artists will call this a full piece, a commissioned piece, and it would be one color or two, but as you can see, Ken can do the full gamut and relatively rapidly, you know, and amazingly well. Like, you could look at that and you'd be like, what's going on? But once you see that the finished project, like, damn, right? So it's just, but it's years. Like, he's been drawing. How long have you been drawing? Since you could hold a pen, so 4 years old probably.
I always answer that in a strange way, because that's it's an odd question, because it's not really a question, because I've always drawn. Drawing well is another story, right? I've always drawn. It didn't look like much at the beginning, but yeah, I've always been I've always been drawing. Yeah, I've always drawn.
Yeah, you could get one. He's gracious enough to give out one, and he'll sign it for you too if you like.
Question. Does he ever have to refer to another picture before drawing something?
Sometimes, if I'm not 100% comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Not with sketches, not with silhouettes. I get the gist of it. But if it's like a very specific costume, general photographic, I would say, sort of close but not perfect, you know. That's what I would say.
So how do these prints come about? Are these done?
Some of them, actually, all these are. Actually, no, not all of them. These are, some of them are just scans of black and white art.
Yeah, so a lot of these are like covers. So this would have been a cover, but before they would put the logo on it, you know, like see X-Men Gold and stuff. And then some of them are just commissions or images. That's a cover and stuff. Yeah. So.
But you will draw it on a computer program?
No, like this.
Actually,
And then they scan it in? Or how does that work?
Sure. Oh yeah. Sure. That's an old binder. I just grabbed the binder. I have like.
So this is the original size of a comic book page, right? So anything here
Go
that
back to the beginning.
Go back to the beginning?
So you can see the.
oh, okay, there we go. Yeah. So starts in the pencils.
That's X-Men
inks.
Gold cover number, I think 12.
Okay.
It's a mega red logo in the back,
Yeah.
and then you can see that's a cover of issue number 17.
I think we have.
So they scan these in and add the color? Is that how it works?
Yeah, there's that one right there.
Yeah, there we go. Right. Yeah, so that's the original.
It'd be like that.
So the cool thing is you can see how he starts with the pencils, right? And then he'll self-ink.
Yeah.
And then after it's all done, it'll get scanned in and he'll send it to his colorist. And then the colorist goes through, does the colors, probably comes back to you for the okay or whatever. And as you notice, it's very simple to change the backgrounds or the feel, the lighting and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, and also one thing to note too is depending on what type of pencil you use, sometimes you use this as the soft red or the blue, right? And then you go over top of it. Yeah. So it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And do they give you a concept, or are you? This is all your own creative design?
I do my own thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Without knowing what the story's about? Or?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Especially if it's last minute, right? They say, hey, we need a cover.
Because you go
They go, cool shot of the team. Okay.
They don't know either, right? And because
The business of comic books is not really the business of pages, it's the business of covers.
so like, these guys make their order forms based on a cover. So the cover is really more the only thing that's really that important, and it's really done 4 months ahead of time for the catalog. So if you have a poor cover, they go, oh, I don't know if I can sell that. A good cover, they go, oh, I can sell that, but they have no idea what's inside. So sometimes I'm doing the cover, and they make a switch, and they're like, oh, geez, like I've done covers, and they moved to different issues. You know, oh, okay, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that's how it is, right? That was a new marker. I was fooling around with a new marker and painting stuff. Like, oh, let's go.
That is my favorite.
Yeah, I brought
That's wicked. That's not
leaving. You can have that.
Yeah, that's not that is amazing.
You see that cover is actually here too.
Yep, that's this.
Oh, this one here?
See, sometimes you don't even notice, right? Like, look at the cover, and then look at all the detail. Look at that you don't really see, right? So it's when you get a good like a great colorist and stuff that you work with, it pops. But then sometimes it's a different vision, right? But the size of full comic book pages is fantastic. Like sometimes they will release them in their original format. Very few.
Do you have some of those?
I do have. I have one of the X-Men one. I think.
Buy that one from you right now.
So yeah, it's pretty.
IDW is it jumper one?
I'll have to check. I don't think it's burned. No.
And do you have a coloring team, or is it just
One guy.
Yeah.
And he's really fast. He did that probably in a night.
One of them.
Yeah, he does it. That's what I mean. You have to be fast, otherwise you're not going to work. Because it's one of those things where it just has to be done fast, right?
But don't fool yourself, because there's a difference. Like there's fast and good, and then there's just fast, and then there's good, but like invincibly slow. So then they don't get work. Right.
Yeah.
Like you take a guy like Chavis Charest. I don't know if you don't know the name. Really good artist. Cannot turn out anything for years. So you're not gonna. He might get an original graphic novel, but sometimes what you start with that concept to when it comes out, it might not be something that's in demand or whatever, or people have forgotten, right? So a lot of times when you see this, like what Ken is saying, these guys might give him 2 to 3 weeks to put out an issue, and the fact that you can do it, right, means that you get work and that it's good. So there's you know, like great artists, but then there's great artists who can just produce, and that's this, you know, like
I guess that comes from just working on your craft.
yeah, you know, it's just like
I'm also impatient, right? I prefer just to get it over with.
Oh.
So I'm not one of those guys who can sit around and noodle it to death. That's not who I am. But there's lots of guys out there who, you know, for me it's not my thing. I used to like to get going.
Right.
So, and also I draw straight to ink.
Right.
So when I'm drawing pencil work, I like, if you see a little bit of red, I lay it out in red,
yeah.
and then I just draw right to ink. So when I'm done, so 4 hours later, I'm done a page because I did it all straight to ink. So I can do 2 pages in a day. So 2 pages in a day, and you do it 7 days a week, you know, you're 3/4 of the book done. So 9 days later, you're done, right? And once I get to past page 15, I go, there's only 4 pages, 5 pages. Let's just go. Yeah, let's go. Right? Other guys go, I need a break. I go, let's just keep rolling. Right? I prefer to just get rolling. I mean, to be honest with you, fans, I mean, great on, but they don't really care what your stuff or this, that. You got to get it done. You just got to get it done, right? And the thing about it is, you can't tell in my way, because I make my decisions and go. You can't tell the difference of when I took 6 weeks or when I took 2.5 weeks.
Is that kind of because I'm a musician as well, and it's, like sometimes I see the imperfections in my work, but for somebody just listening to it, they won't notice those little things.
Yeah, I mean, because I see this is what I've learned over the years. Are you making art for yourself, or you're making it for the masses? If you're making it for yourself, then you can noodle it. But if you're making it for a monthly machine, you've got to get it done. Like, you know, if you're drawing X-Men, if you're drawing Spider-Man, you're drawing Superman. Fans don't want to be late. They want it on time. They want the book. And editors, you know, editors, unfortunately, they move up the chain based on how well they can deliver the product. So if you have an editor and you're making him look bad to his bosses, he's going to move you up because you look, even if you're phenomenal. It's just that you keep making him late. So then he looks bad on his schedule. So then He could be awesome. It doesn't matter, right? So you have to be, you have to make him look good all the time, right?
Right.
If you can. It's a business. It's like anything else. It's a business. And I work for Hasbro and Lucasfilm, and I'm doing all this comic work too. So it's like,
And giving back and coming here. Like,
I did it. This was sort of a fun last minute thing. You want to tell me how it came to be?
So Ken and I are friends on Facebook, and we've known each other for years. So I get a little message like, "Yo," I'm like, "Hey, yo, Ken, what's up? How are things? How was your trip?" So because he's going to cons. He's like, "Yeah, everything's good." He's like, I got a favor to ask of you." I'm like, "Yeah." I want to crash your store tomorrow for free comic book day. What? So it was pretty amazing, but it's ironic because this year's 17 for us, and Ken came and helped us launch year 7. So I was getting ready to say, "Hey Ken, why don't you come up in a couple months, because it's in July, and do that." So he's like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna still come up for free comic book day."
July is probably not going to be. July is a terrible month to do that.
Yeah,
because San Diego,
we'll
and
work
then
around.
Montreal.
To all the Comic Cons?
Yeah, June and July are terrible. It's just everyone plans their stuff in the same month, so it's kind of hard to. You feel bad for people who are planning a summer vacation, summer anything.
That's what happens in the network.
Are you gonna be at TCAP?
No, TCAP is an interesting show. When you say that, TCAP is not really for mainstream guys.
There's a lot of web artists.
TCAP is that's an indie thing. They would take kind of to see me show up there. Here comes Mr. Mainstream. It's fun. I don't think I've ever been to TCAP.
Maybe you can try and find
I'm super mainstream. I forgot to give this to that guy. I wonder if he's still here. Sorry, Mike.
How are you?
Really easy kind of dexterity stuff.
He's what?
It's amazing.
It's not bad. I have a moment. Appreciate it.
You think he drew everything?
Can ask you questions after quiet.
So, how long have you been in the industry for total?
A long time, a couple, 20-some years.
20-something? When did you feel you were picking up momentum?
I don't know. It's a loaded question because it's sort of this business that I'm in is inherently you know what? It's hard to say. Okay, how do I say this in a nice way? This business has not really been. There's not a lot of people who look like me. So, because there's a lot of people who don't look like me, it's difficult for them to say, "Oh, this guy could do this." It's like, "Oh, let's find something with a person of color for them to do." So Black Panther. Oh yeah, I can see him do Black Panther, but to see a 20-something-year-old black kid from Toronto doing Superman at the time in the 1990s was not going to happen, right? So I have, I've always been known as he's really skilled, but it took a little bit longer for me to get the notoriety that I maybe would have gotten 10 years prior. That makes sense?
Okay, yeah.
So I had to sort of go through that, and it was frustrating because people that we would sit next to each other at a comic convention and we'd be drawing and I'd be blowing his head off, and that's the Superman guy,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, oh geez, right? And then people start going, oh my goodness. And you know when it really changed and my career changed?
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out the 2 that Uatu the Watcher has selected. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel.